Hello and welcome to Rise Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. And on this show, I got plenty of experts, but I got a couple of places that will do great things under the sea. This is the most epic interview I've ever had. It's like all the swell of the music, the imagery from the Arctic, all of that good stuff. I'm like, this is epic. I'm in.
This accelerates a natural process which already occurs on the planet at massive scale because there's plenty of rocks and plenty of rain and CO2.
We have various other chronic conditions in my household as well. So it really has been a long road of finding the right doctors, building those relationships, and figuring out what medications they should be on as well.
These sea turtles, because they're marine reptiles, get too cold and they start to shut down. They get pneumonia and have other problems.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. Have you ever wanted your summer vacation to actually make a difference? At Wonders of Wildlife in Springfield, Missouri, families can swim with sharks, chill with penguins, and even help rescue sea turtles. It's one of the most immersive wildlife attractions in the world, and it's all part of a larger mission to protect animals and inspire future conservationists. So joining us live from their new Jelly Room is Michael Daniel, Director of Animal Care at the Johnny Morris Foundation. Welcome to the show, Michael. How are you?
Doing great. Good morning. Glad to be here.
All right, first off, Wonders of Wildlife isn't your average aquarium. What makes this place so special?
So Wonders of Wildlife is a 350,000 square foot facility that is part natural history museum and part aquarium. And it's all dedicated toward conservation and education. So we have something for everybody to learn about and to become excited about.
And I heard guests could get really like up close and personal with some of the animals. What kind of hands-on experiences do you guys have available?
So we have touch exhibits where you can meet a stingray or maybe get a chance to feel a sea urchin. But if you really want to get into one of our most immersive experiences, is join us for a shark dive in our Out to Sea exhibit. That's where we have sand tiger sharks, sandbar sharks, Goliath grouper, and guests will put on a special helmet that sits down their shoulders, and they'll enter the water with some of our amazing dive staff to see these beautiful animals up close. We also have the opportunity for folks to meet a Gentoo penguin. You can travel into their habitat with one of our animal care experts to feel that cold 40-degree weather, hear the penguins trumpet back and forth, and learn about the amazing facts that make Gentoos so special.
All right, let's talk about sea turtles. Your team just released 19 turtles back to the wild. What happened to them and how'd you guys help?
Great question. It's one of the opportunities that my teams are so passionate about. And it lets us have the opportunity to help an animal and give back and to make a difference in our environment. So every year there are cold stunning events. And we've worked with teams on the northeastern coast of the U.S. so that when these powerful winter storms come in, they hit the coastline and the air and water temperature drops very rapidly. When that happens, it gets into the 40s and 50s. These sea turtles, because they're marine reptiles, get too cold and they start to shut down. They get pneumonia and have other problems. And without the care of folks like staff at Wonders of Wildlife, they wouldn't survive. So those turtles are flown here to Springfield, Missouri, where they spend the next several months being nursed back to health by our veterinary and animal care team. So finally, we can get them back out into the wild to play their pivotal role in their natural environment. And it's a remarkable experience.
And for people that are watching that want to get involved, whether that's either visiting or helping out, what's the best way to support your conservation work?
Great question. So you can visit our website, wondersofwildlife.org, to learn about the different conservation efforts that we participate in, learn all about the story of our sea turtles. But folks can also just take small steps, be mindful of their waste, turn that water off when you're brushing your teeth, or turn the lights off when you leave the room. All those little things make a huge difference. And we all can be more mindful of those things.
Do you ever wonder what a $100 million idea to fight climate change looks like? XPRIZE just awarded its biggest prize ever for carbon removal, and the winning solution could help us hit net zero emissions faster than we ever thought possible. So today we have Anousheh Ansari, CEO of XPRIZE, and the first female private space explorer, and Shantanu Agarwal, the climate tech innovator behind the winning team, Maddie Carbon. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with the big picture. How does carbon dioxide actually contribute to the climate crisis we're all seeing around us?
The carbon dioxide is 2/3 of our greenhouse gas emissions, and greenhouse gases in atmosphere trap heat, makes our planet warmer. The heat generates new extreme weather conditions that we've seen, like the hurricanes that we've seen or the wildfires we've seen across the globe, but especially recently in Southern California, where lots of property was destroyed and many thousands of people were displaced. Or droughts, hotter summers, longer summers, no snow when you go skiing. All these are aftermaths of climate change. And this is why we need to remove CO2, because we're putting it in the atmosphere and making the planet hotter and hotter. So we need really gigaton level carbon removal solutions that can remove this CO2 out of the atmosphere to combat this climate crisis.
So what is XPRIZE carbon removal, and how did this massive competition really come together?
So 4 years ago, we launched a $100 million carbon removal competition to really scale up solution that can remove a significant amount, gigaton level of carbon out of the atmosphere or the oceans. And we told people you can build any solution. It can use rocks, land, direct air capture, or ocean-based solutions to accomplish this. And we had 1,300 teams from 88 countries who competed for this competition and built amazing, incredible solution, and we need them all. But the last year of the competition, we had to narrow it down to the best 20 companies. And these 20 companies went on to demonstrate to our expert judges over one period of 1 year period that they can remove 1,000 tons of CO2 out of the atmosphere or the oceans and do it in a very cost-effective way and scalable, that they can scale to gigaton by 2050. And out of that, we selected 6 teams. We awarded them $80 million just on Earth Day. And the top winner of this competition was Maddie Carbon, that received $50 million.
Shantanu, congrats on the big win. What does your carbon removal tech mean for pretty much everyday folks watching? And how could it change things here at home?
Our tech essentially removes carbon in an efficient manner while also helping the soils. We take volcanic rocks, we pulverize them into dust and essentially spread them in agricultural fields. This accelerates a natural process which already occurs on the planet at massive scale because there's plenty of rocks and plenty of rain and CO2. But when we do that in pulverized form, it essentially reacts with the CO2 in air and water in the fields from rain or wherever, and essentially converts and reacts those rocks into a bicarbonate form. These bicarbonates essentially then keep the CO2 sequestered in the dissolved form, run off into the rivers and eventually into the oceans. That helps us essentially remove carbon at a scalable manner and also at the same time rejuvenate the soils, because these rocks have a lot of nutrients, minerals, which are simultaneously released in the soil. So the soil health improves, and that improves the crop health, and essentially crop productivity improves. So the farmer actually gets more productivity out of the same fields just by addition of these rocks. We are taking this technology and this science into places like Zambia, Tanzania, India, where farmers are not earning the same way as in US, $1,000, $2,000 type of farmers per annum incomes. And when we do this, their incomes go up by 30%, 40%. They become more climate resilient. They're able to adapt, pay off their debts, and become more secure. So food security for the planet goes up. Income security for these small farmers goes up. And we are hoping that we can take this technology and perfect that across the whole global south. So we need a lot of people to come and join forces with us so that we can make this a global standard, so that becomes a planetary scale solution where all these farmers across the planet can benefit from it. And we can take the money which is being paid for carbon removal by these large companies for becoming net zero, fund the operations, and give it away to small farmers for free.
I want to thank you too for joining me this morning. Where can we go for more information if they want to learn more about the XPRIZE or find a way to get involved themselves?
You can go to xprize.org, xprize.org, or follow us on all forms of social media. And if you want to learn about carbon removal, put a / carbon removal.
Hey, I want to thank you too for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Managing a chronic illness is tough. Now imagine managing it for the entire family. Today we're joined by Tricia Fitzgerald, a mom of 6, a caregiver, and a full-time youth worker who's pretty much balancing it all. She's here to share what's worked for her and how other families could also find the kind of support. Welcome to the show, Tricia. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. All right, Tricia, can you walk us through your personal health journey?
Sure. So I am diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis as well as rheumatoid arthritis. Those are both autoimmune disorders. One is a degenerative spine disease, that's ankylosing spondylitis. I started showing symptoms when I was in the 4th grade, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was 39. So it's been a long journey for me of various doctor's appointments, trying to find the right specialists. I've had multiple surgeries, and really it's just been a long, long road. I also, as you mentioned, have 6 children. 4 of them are diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, the juvenile form, so it's juvenile idiopathic arthritis. We have various other chronic conditions in my household as well. So it really has been a long road of finding the right doctors, building those relationships, and figuring out what medications they should be on as well.
And you're helping your whole family manage their care while working full-time. How do you feel like you can handle it all?
Well, it is sometimes very daunting to have so many medications in the house and so many conditions. But honestly, CVS Health has been a huge help. They've been our rock. They have phone calls that they send or that they make to us every month, as well as text messages that they send. So that helps us stay on top of all of our medications and when it's time to refill them. And really what's been the most helpful is the auto shipment. So they send us through the mail auto shipment every month of not all 50 medications, but a majority of them. So we're on a lot of specialty medications as well. So CVS Specialty helps with a lot of these chronic conditions, such as autoimmune disorders, if someone maybe has cancer, other various conditions. And so whenever we have questions or something is going on that maybe we need more information about, we also can reach out to CVS Specialty. So collectively, that's really helped tremendously so we can stay on top of everything. And even at this point, my college-bound children are able to manage their own medications because of all of these apps and all of these phone calls.
And support systems do make a big difference. Who's in yours?
So beyond CVS Health, we also, of course, my family. We all work together. We have so many activities that we're going to, track meets. We have all the plays that my kids are in. My kids love to do photography. We go to concerts. We like to do things that normal families like to do. And chronic illness isn't slowing us down. We're thriving despite having all of these things going on in our house. We're just really making it a point to stay together, advocate for one another. Because I went through what I went through as a child, I recognized right away when my children were having symptoms, and I made sure to take them to the doctors. When I wasn't getting answers, I kept asking questions. I found other doctors. And so I'm there for my kids. My husband is there for me. Collectively, we're there for our kids, and they're learning to speak up for themselves and advocate for themselves. There's also organizations like the Arthritis Foundation and other various support groups that really help us as well. So it's really amazing to see that we can build such a strong village and a network to support us.
And finally, where can people go for more information to get help and other resources?
So you can go to cvshealth.com to learn more. Obviously, you can also reach out to your pharmacist or talk to your doctor or support groups like arthritis.org.
Thanks for joining us, Tricia.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You might think hearing loss is mostly something that comes with age, but new research shows it's showing up more and more in younger people too. We've got audiologist Dr. MJ DeSousa with us to explain what's behind the rise and how we can help protect our hearing at any age. MJ, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So how serious is this trend? Are we seeing a real spike in hearing loss among younger folks?
It is a really concerning trend. And in fact, according to the World Health Organization, approximately about 1 billion young people are at risk for permanent avoidable hearing loss due to noise exposure. So that is a really concerning statistic. And we are finding that among young people between the ages of 12 and 35, there has been a significant increase in the rates of hearing loss in that group.
So how significant is the hearing loss crisis, and why has it become so prevalent among these younger people?
I think it's due to greater access to sources of noise. We now have earbuds that we connect to smartphones, tablets, computers, etc. So our exposure time is much greater than it used to be. We're constantly listening to music, and we have phones now that can store phenomenal amounts of music on them. And so our exposure time is much more significant. Another factor is just lack of awareness. Young people in particular aren't aware of the risks of noise exposure and the consequences of hearing loss. And so, it's really great to have this opportunity to talk about this, because it's such an important health concern for young people to be aware of. Also the volumes, because we have access to these devices, young people are listening at higher volumes for longer amounts of time.
So what are some safe listening practices, and how can we protect our hearing?
Yeah, a good rule of thumb is, if you're going to be listening to a podcast, music, anything through earbuds, set the volume in a quiet environment. And then if you're able to hear someone speaking to you from a distance of about 2 to 3 feet, that's probably a safe listening level. But then you have to avoid the temptation to turn it up once you're out in a noisier environment. And when we think about safe listening, it really comes down to 3 factors. The first factor is how loud is the noise. The second factor is how long you're exposed to it. So obviously, the louder the noise, the shorter the safe exposure period is. And if you have been exposed to a loud sound for a period of time, it's really important to give your ears a rest. And by rest, I mean be in a quiet environment for a period of about 24 hours.
Why are hearing screenings so important, and where can people get screened?
Hearing screenings are really important because hearing loss develops gradually. And we're often not very aware of it until the loss becomes more significant. So hearing screenings help us identify any changes early and provide interventions as quickly as possible. And if you are feeling that you're noticing changes in your hearing, I would encourage you to go to beltone.com and book an appointment for a free hearing screening during the month of May. We have locations all across the US so that you can get your hearing screened.
How are modern hearing aids different, and how are they helping to reduce the stigma?
Yeah, there's still some mythology around hearing aids being bulky, ineffective, something only older people use. Modern hearing aids are incredible. They incorporate digital technology. Some even use AI. They're fully integrated with our modern technological ecosystem, so they connect to our smartphones, our TVs, so that you can stream sound directly to your hearing aids. And the digital advances also have allowed much better performance. Especially in noisy environments, which is one of the most challenging environments for people with hearing loss. The ability to hear speech clearly in those noisy environments is dramatically improved. Also, the look and the feel of the hearing aids. They're much sleeker, lighter, smaller, much more comfortable to wear. So if anyone is hesitating, exploring hearing aids as an option to treat their hearing loss, I would encourage you to come and check out modern hearing technology. And I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Where can we go for more information?
Yeah, if you'd like more information about modern hearing technology, or if you'd like to book an appointment for a free hearing screening during the month of May, go to beltone.com.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
SeaWorld Orlando just unveiled one of the most ambitious attractions yet, and it's already making waves. Expedition Odyssey is taking guests on a high-tech journey across the Arctic, blending breathtaking real-world footage with some of the most advanced ride technology out there. The adventure doesn't stop there. You'll also come face to face with Arctic wildlife, including a walrus calf named Uki. So joining us with the Inside Scoop is Carr, Corporate Director of Rides and Engineering at SeaWorld Orlando. Welcome to the show, Connor. And where are you, man? I want to be there.
I am in the greatest place on earth right now. I mean, I am sitting on our brand new ride, Expedition Odyssey. And as you can see, we're jumping right into it today. So we just rotated into the ride, you know, to get it kicked off. The big reveal, right into the environment. We are so excited to get going.
All right, so what can folks expect when they hop on Expedition Odyssey?
I mean, you said it, right? They can expect dynamic motion, fun moments, you know, breathtaking visuals that previously were only available to, you know, to the world-class explorers that go to the top of the world. But we put the effort in, we did the work to bring it to you. You know, we always say we're not just showing you the Arctic on Expedition Odyssey, but we're taking you there. And I mean, right off the bat, I mean, come on, I'm already excited. This is unbelievable.
You got some serious ride tech powering this thing. How is it raising the bar for like theme park experiences?
Yeah, so, you know, it doesn't just stop at the ride, right? The ride is one of the most dynamic, you know, the widest dynamic ranges in motion of its kind, with special effects and, you know, sense and wind and mist and everything that truly makes this a real experience. But it's not just about the ride. It's also about the film, right? And to capture the film that we did, you know, we sent teams on several weeks-long expeditions to the top of the world using drone technology, divers, custom camera equipment, but it's also the blend of the ride in that film to truly bring that experience to something that's never been done before.
This is the most epic interview I've ever had.
I mean,
it's like all the swell of the music, the imagery from the Arctic, all of that good stuff. I'm like, this is epic. I'm in. All right.
It's unbelievable. Every time I ride it, I still can't believe that I'm on it.
All right, so it doesn't stop with the ride. What kind of real life, like animal encounters that guests could also look forward to over there?
Absolutely. You know, that's the greatest thing about Expedition Odyssey is you start by going to the Arctic on this incredible ride experience. But then once you disembark, you go right into, you know, my favorite habitat here at our park, our Arctic habitat, and you see beluga and walrus on the ride. You see orca on the ride and swim alongside of them. But then you get off the ride and you go into our Arctic habitat and you're up close with our beluga that are here at the park, with our walrus that are here at the park, including Uki. You mentioned it, you know, our favorite new family member, you know, that joined us in 2024 from Alaska. And we're so excited to, you know, have Uki here to connect with our guests, have our guests connect with her. And then, you know, there's even orca in the film. And, you know, of course, what's a SeaWorld day without going and visiting our family of orca right here?
So how did Uki become part of the SeaWorld family?
Absolutely, you know, so Uki was in Alaska, and she was orphaned, and our team rescued her and brought her here and took care of her and, you know, gave her a second chance at life, and she's fit right in, and you know, now our guests get to connect with her too, and we're so excited that she also gets to provide that connection that we know and love here at the park.
For people that are interested in booking maybe a trip or checking out more information, where can they go?
Sorry, I just got sprayed by a whale as we're on the ride. But now we're diving underwater. That was awesome. No, our guests can go to SeaWorldOrlando.com for more information. The grand opening is not that far away. It's May 9th, and there's still time. So if you want to come and ride early, you know, SeaWorldOrlando.com, become a pass holder, come and join us. You know, otherwise, grand opening May 9th, and we can't wait for everyone to come and join the expedition with us.
Connor, thanks for joining me this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Spring isn't just a season, it's a signal, a fresh start. And for most of us, it begins the moment we roll up our sleeves and tackle that first home project. Catherine Mootz from the Home Depot is here to break down the top DIY trends for spring, plus the best tools, timing, and tricks to kind of make the most out of the season. Catherine, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
All right, let's just start with a survey. What did it reveal about how people are feeling about home projects this spring?
So yes, you're right. This spring, the Home Depot unveiled some new data based on our "What Are You Working On" spring project report. So we basically did a deep dive of all of the top spring projects that people are working on across all 50 states. And we found some interesting things. We found 66% of people say that actually completing a spring project helps cure their spring fever. 52% are really focusing on mulch and adding or refreshing their garden beds this spring. And 62% plan to grill year round. So they use spring as a time to kind of refresh and clean their grill to get ready for the season to come. So we took all of this data and paired it with expert tips, product recommendations, and project guides. And we put everything in one place in an interactive map online so we can be there with our customers throughout the entire season.
And in our region, when is like the best time to kick off certain projects, especially those that are dependent on the weather?
Yes. So you're just like me, you're in the Southeast, and I mean, spring is already well underway for us. Now is the perfect time to get going because that humidity is coming. So if you have some outdoor projects that you want to complete, late April, early May is the perfect time to plant your grass, get your mulch down, and start figuring out if you want to refresh any of your plants or vegetables or herbs before it gets too hot.
And what are some like go-to tools or products you think every homeowner should probably have on hand right now?
Well, every homeowner should have what I am calling project completers. They're just like the finishing touches to make all of your spring projects really come to life. And right now, the Home Depot is having our spring deals event, and all of those project completers are on sale, and many of them are under $20. So for instance, for gardeners, we've got soil, 5 for $10. We've got some beautiful annual flowers, 5 for $5. If you're a griller, we've got great deals on charcoal right now with 2 packs under $20. We've got some great accessories. This accessory kit is about $30. And then for hosting, we've got throw pillows, our famous Hampton Bay string lights to add to your backyard or patio, and a great deal on pavers right now, 4 for $1.
And for the people that want to stay on budgets, any spring savings or deals that are kind of worth checking out?
Yes, that right now through May 7th is kind of the last big push for any type of spring deal event at the Home Depot. So we want to make sure that we are there to help our customers kind of finish out the spring season strong. So you can go into your local Home Depot store or shop online for any of these products that you see right here around me, and so many more that are at a great price right now.
All right, so if anybody wants to get started on some of their spring DIY home things, where can we go for more information and start finding that inspiration?
So you can go to projects.homedepot.com/map, and that is where you can find out what are the projects that are trending in your region, how can you complete those, including with project guides, product recommendations, expert tips, and then of course you can always head to your local Home Depot store or visit homedepot.com to shop all of these great deals.
Catherine Mootz, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
And that's it for Rise Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in, checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, go to riseunwindtv.com. Follow us on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, share, all of that other good stuff. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.